Hey! My name is Tyler, but quite often people call me Coté on the internet because my internet handle is quite often Coté. So, I'm not sure if you've heard, but mtgxerxes is running a Pokemon tournament. I know, can you believe it? And I decided to join the 4th gen bracket of said tournament, as did my opponent, whose name is Catch and Goer. My word is Tackle. I'm not sure what his word is. I'm sure Xerxes will have it up in annotations. But, in any case, he's got an arrow lead, so his word has to start with A, so there's a first little hint for you. I've got Tangrowth as my lead, and I'm going to go for Sleep Powder right off the bat. If his arrow is anything like mine, he's probably got Power Up Sky Attack, and I'm pretty sure Tangrowth can take that anyway. So, it was a safe move regardless, but he sets up his rocks, which is, annoying for me, but, it's going to happen. So I go to my own arrow just to mirror match him, and my arrow is a lot slower than most, so he could have potentially stayed in, woken up, and Stone Edged me, but he decided he didn't want me to be faster, Stone Edge him. So he went into Empoleon to take it, but I just went for rocks, and now I switched to my Empoleon to kind of, mirror match him. But he decides he'll have none of that, and he'll roar me out into my Tangrowth, which is kind of what I wanted in here to deal with him in the first place. I'm afraid of Flash Cannon, but I wouldn't be afraid of Surf at all, but Flash Cannon might hurt a little bit because I have no special defense investment on this guy. But of course he doesn't know that yet, so I'm just going to go for a Leech Seed regardless. And I guess Tangrowth picked up his glasses, dusted him off when he was in his Pokeball, and he hits it this time, so that's really cool. I stayed in this turn because I figured, well, he's been asleep 2 turns, I'll just wait for him to wake up and then I'll put him to sleep again. Of course he wakes up immediately, burns his Power Herb, which I knew he had, and hits me with Sky Attack for about 60% damage, so that's going to reveal to him that I'm a physically defensive Tangrowth. I actually flinched that turn, which I didn't even know Sky Attack could flinch, but apparently it can, and apparently it's got a fairly high chance to as well. The next turn he goes for Taunt, but I'm like, no sir, I'm going to go for Giga Drain, and actually do a fairly sizable chunk. Like, I do have a bit of special attack, but like not that much on this Tangrowth, so that's real neat. I guess it just says a lot about Arrow's frail, paper-thin defenses, and the fact that he switches out here tells me that he's definitely got a spinner somewhere. I know that he wouldn't just use it as fodder there. Ironically, we both go to our Empoleons, which is a pretty neat simultaneous switch we just orchestrated there. And I roar him out, and what do you know? A spinner comes in. It's a Hitmontop. He intimidates me, which tells me he's he's probably a defensive set. He's definitely not a Technotop, at least. And I'm expecting either close combat or spin. I'm more afraid of close combat. So I'm going to go to Crest. It exists here for fighting types because, it is a bulky psychic type, which is great for fighting psychic or fighting types. Follow that logic. I went for T-Wave just on the switch, I don't know. It hits something, and I wouldn't want to put this guy to sleep anyway, and this is going to remove 25% of its turns of usability, so that's really cool. I set up an Aqua Ring, which, whatever, like I was expecting him to just get hacked, or maybe he'd stay in Flash Cannon or something, but that's not the case. So now I'm expecting him to switch out as I go for Sleep Powder, hoping to catch something on the switch at least, but he didn't. He stayed in and wrecks me with Flash Cannon, which does almost as much as Power Herb Sky Attack, so that was really great. I seed him up because I'm expecting just to die at that point, but he thought I'd switch and he decided to roar, so that's okay by me. I go to my Empoleon, I get a little bit of HP back with Leech Seed, so things are looking pretty good. I'm going to be able, my Crest does have Lunar Dance, so if I have to save Tangrowth or something, I can, which it can be used again. So in comes to Hitmontop again. I set up 1 Iron Defense, and I'm in a pickle. If he close combats me, I'll probably get knocked into Torrent. He'll be at -1 special defense, and I might be able to kill it. However, I decide, at that point, I'd be too low. I don't know enough about his team, so I decide to save Empoleon for a bit later. I can deal with Hitmontop with other things, so I go to Crest. He does, in fact, close combat, and he has a white herb, so I get him to burn it right there, which is really, it's huge, because that would have been pretty instrumental for him later. I just Moonlight up because I want Crest to be at full HP because I've still only seen half of his guys. I don't know if he's got an Infernape kicking around, if he's got a Heracross or something. He switched out into Empoleon, and I'm just going to Psychic this thing until I can't, because I don't expect him to have any moves that can really hurt me too bad. He's got to roar me out, or otherwise he's going to die. So I was fully expecting to get roared, so that's just what I did. I'm going to go for a Dragon Dance just because I can and hope he gets haxed, which he actually does, which is pretty great. So now I can either try and paraflinch him, or I can just go for Outrage for maximum damage. I decided getting a little bit more damage on there would be more instrumental or more crucial, so that's what I wound up going with. But it's just a citrus berry, so ironically I do like nothing. So that's something. He roars me out into Lucario, and I'm really tempted to close combat right now, which is what I'm actually going to do. Unfortunately, he does in fact predict this, goes to Hitmontop, intimidates, and he's a fairly bulky poke as well, so he's going to be able to take that and pretty much just shrug it off. He can't heal, however, so that extra bit of damage is going to help Empoleon beat it if I need Empoleon to beat it. So now I'm expecting... I'm -1 and don't want to... He's not a Technotop, so... a Mach Punch isn't really expected, but just in case he snuck it on there, I decided to go to Crest, but he actually has Toxic, so this Crest does not care about Toxic whatsoever. Not in the sense that it has Rest, but it has Petra Berry, so it can dodge 1, and then it has Lunar Dance, so it can dodge 2. And here, he makes excellent plays. He does an astounding pivot switch. He goes to Empoleon expecting T-Wave, and then he goes to Weavile, which I hadn't seen yet, to dodge Psychic, and then he subs to dodge T-Wave again. So he just completely made me dance around and made my Crest look stupid. And then I go to Empoleon just as fodder, or not Empoleon, Tangrowth just as fodder. And I really shouldn't have, because I got to thinking after, I took a long time to decide what move to do, and I just felt like an idiot afterwards. I was like, he's going to have Low Kick, I can't go to Empoleon. He's going to have Night Slash, I can't go to Crest. He's going to have something for everything. I can't do anything. But then I was like, wait, it's stab only. He can't have a fighting move. I'm an idiot. So I set up an Iron Defense with Empoleon once I eventually decided to go to it, once I stopped being retarded. A crit did, I want to say almost half, so that was kind of frightening. But I knew once I set up an Iron Defense, he wouldn't be doing very much, because it would do about a quarter once he stops critting me, and that's really great. So I set up my Aqua Ring, and I'm going to set up a second Iron Defense as he goes into his Empoleon, and I know he wants to roar me to get rid of my boosts and my HP healing, so I'm going to roar him out first, because I'm definitely faster now, in case the first one was a speed tie somehow, but not the case, and I roar him into his Hitmontop. So I almost went for it last time, so this time I'm definitely going to go for it, because I do have all this extra stuff up. I got +4 defense now instead of +2, and I've got Aqua Ring going, so he does indeed knock me into Torrent, and he does in fact drop a stage in special defense, so this Surf is easily going to be able to handle it, take it out, gone, get out of here. He said he was surprised by that. He forgot about Torrent, so that works out great. In comes the Arrow, and man, this guy just impressed me with his impressive plays the whole game. I didn't even see this coming. He's like, as soon as he taunted me, I was like, okay, so I can't set up more defense. What are you going to do about it? And then he went into his Empoleon, and I was like, oh, I see what you did there. And I can't roar him now, so because of the taunt. And that was just a brilliant play. I never would have thought of that in a million years. So great for him for doing what he had to do to get me out of there, which was something I would have never thought of. Like, it seems stupidly obvious, but it just never would have crossed my mind to do that. He does in fact get to roar me out, which is unreal. Like, that's just great playing. That's great strategery on his part. Paraflinch is really tempting to go for. I could have outraged and potentially killed it, but then he just goes to something bulky, and then what do? So I don't get that little bit of hacks I needed, but whatever. I could either close combat with Luke, or I decide I'm gonna go to Cress, and this is kind of a misplay, because what do what happens after I kill it? He goes to Weavile, and then he hits me, and that's not cool. So I'm going to Moonlight up once, because he is in Torrent range, and these Surfs are going to do a little bit of damage, a little bit more than I'd hope they'd do. So I Moonlight almost up to full, and he hits me with another Surf. He doesn't get haxed, which, that's fine. It's a 25% chance it shouldn't happen every turn. I was tempted to stay in and just keep Moonlighting, but then I'd be out of Moonlights by the time he eventually gets haxed. So I just finish him off right there while I can, and in comes Weavile. This time I'm not retarded. I immediately go to Empoleon because it completely counters this Weavile, and I was expecting to just Night Slash just for a bit of damage, but no, he sets up a sub, so I'm like, okay, I'll just roar that out. But he inbo 4s my roar, goes to Arrow, and then I roar his Arrow into one of the guys I haven't seen yet. I've only seen 4 of his 6, and in comes number 5, and I do not like it. I don't have any boosts up, so I can't stick around, but Cress exists on this team for the purpose of Infernape most of the time. At half health, I don't know if I can take a close combat and an overheat, so he goes for close combat, and I'm like, I don't know if I can live an overheat. I'm pretty sure I can't, as a matter of fact, so I'm gonna have to go for it. Like, that's my only chance. So I do, in fact, Moonlight. He did switch out, and that tells me his ape is probably all physical. So Cress is now looking pretty good with her HP. Yes, it is a female. This time I decided to go for T-Wave because I was like, he's got 3 fast guys. I want a T-Wave. That's what I'm going to go for. But he taunts me, and Psychic is the only move I can go for. And I know he knows that, so I know he's going to go to Weavile, and I go to Lucario. If he had predicted that and gone to Infernape, I think he would have had the game, and that would have been the play of the century. But he didn't predict that. I was afraid of him predicting that, but I had to go to Luke because I couldn't leave Cress in there any longer. So I managed to bullet punch his arrow, and in comes his last, and it's a big old Glyph score. So Luke isn't going to do anything to that. I'm expecting EQ, so Arrow's going to dodge that. But Cress would have as well, so I could have gone to Cress, but I decided, nah, let's go to Arrow. I want to use my Power Herb Sky Attack and get rid of it, just to show him, like, hey, lol, I did that too. Sky Attack is kind of underwhelming. It does a bit over 50%, and I knew I could live a +2 Aerial Ace because he's already used his Power Herb, so he definitely doesn't have Sky Attack on this guy, so he's only going to use weak flying moves. This turn I decided to taunt to get rid of him roosting and or setting up more sword stances, and here I get a crit. Lame Hex is lame. That's the way it happened. Like, if I don't get that crit, he wouldn't have lived with very much. Theoremon is lame, so I don't really want to sit here and think about what could have happened if we did different moves, but that's the way the game happened, so get over it. Ice Shard is going to finish off my arrow, and here I'm going to go to Luke because it's going to threaten him out more than Cress or Kingdra will, so I could Bullet Punch, but no, that's stupid. He's going to go to Infernape, and that's going to be silly, so I'm going to set up a sub. Close combat probably was the right play, but now I get to close combat him anyway. I'm not sure if a Mach Punch will take me out at -1 from where I am. I'm pretty sure it would, so at this point I absolutely should switch to Cresselia. I absolutely should, because Cress is going to be less than useless fighting the Weavile, because all I can do is Psychic it, and it's immune, so that's stupid. So I should have saved Luke, but I didn't. It didn't cross my mind. I was like, oh, lol, King just got this. But boy, I could not have been more wrong. So now I'm going to go to Cress, and I'm going to try and T-Wave him, because I'm like, okay, he's got 2 guys left. Both of them are fast guys that I want to slow down, so let's go for T-Wave. But he actually surprises me with a Cherry Berry, and he gets a Sword Stance up, so I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks, but I should still be okay. I can probably take a +2 Flare Blitz, he'll kill himself, I'll Moonlight, and then everything will be hunky-dory, right? No, sir, not the case. Blaze, did you know? I forgot about Blaze. I thought I could live a +2 Flare Blitz, but not with Blaze active, unfortunately. So he takes me out. I don't get to Moonlight. I think I actually went for T-Wave that turn anyway, because I was being it would have slowed him down. But he would have died too, so that wouldn't have mattered. And now in comes Kingdra, and I'm like, I just have to Waterfall him and then Outrage just to break one of his subs, and then I'm good to go. But I was like, wait, Outrage looks cooler. Let's go for Outrage, because it was 1 AM, and I was like, I was tired. I was trying to stay stimulated. It didn't exactly work out the way I planned it, and I do get a 2-turn Outrage. I thought maybe if I just get a 3-turn, it'll be fine, and my misplay won't matter, but it's too late. Like, I can't unlock myself into Outrage. And I knew we can live 1 Night Slash barring a crit. So I'm gonna go, I gotta stay in, like, I'm stuck. I gotta go for it, and I hit myself. So I just let him weasel his way back into this game. But because all I got left is Empoleon, I had 3 guys, had 4 guys to handle his last 2. I've swindled myself down to 1. And if he gets a crit Night Slash here, it could be game over. I don't know how much the first crit did, but it looks like with the damage he rolled that turn, even a crit wouldn't have KO'd me. Maybe if that was min and he got a max damage crit, then like he would have had a chance. But He really had no business being there. I just made a silly misplay, 2 silly misplays, 3 silly misplays down the stretch, but don't worry, Empoleon's got you on his shoulders, and that's a good game. So I'm sure you guys are all sick of hearing the same standard outros of just, come check out my channel because I want to make YouTube money, but you know what? Don't come check out my channel, because Xerxes' channel this is what YouTube was about, man. Back when YouTube was YouTube, this was YouTube. Like, a guy with a camera doing what he wants to do, not because he's getting paid for it. Like, this is what, like, my favorite guy on, or one of my favorite guys on YouTube just quit recently because the new channel updates and, like, the fact that YouTube is catering more towards corporations now made him sick and tired, and he just quit. So like, I respect his decision and all that, but I wish YouTube was still what it was all about. Just guys with handy cams, just doing what they want to do, doing reviews of stuff that just came out. And back in 2007-ish, when I first started watching vids, that was what it was about, and that's what Xerxes was about. I'm not saying I've been with Xerxes for 5 years. I jumped on the Blame Truth bandwagon, so I'm not trying to be that kind of hipster guy, but stay here, watch Xerxes' videos, because they're some of the best on the internet.